You are not dropping or trading Hopkins. You all are nuts. They're eating their words at this point. Hopefully, if you're watching, you listen to me when I hashtag answers by guess on the things I say. I said Hopkins has been fine his entire career. He had one down year where he had 6 terrible quarterbacks, but every other year he's also had terrible quarterbacks and he's been money. Now,
mind blowing.
To this week, though, I said it before, I might bench Hopkins. And I just read a quote. He said that, like, he gets up, he lives for, he plays for, what it's all about is going against the top corners. He said that 15 hours ago. Well, the article came out 15 hours ago. Who knows when he said it? He probably said it last week. Either way, he's going against the best secondary in the league this year. And he's got a terrible toe. He's got a hurt toe. I mean, if he plays, is he a decoy? If he plays...
Do you see more Fuller or do you see
right. If he plays,
Steven
is he not a decoy, but shut down because his toe's a little hurt? He makes me nervous. I mean, I really have no idea how you can bench him. I mean, if I bench him in one league, it's going to be for Diggs, where I also have Thielen, so I'm going to throw them both out there. So, because I said they're both going to do well, hopefully I cash there. And then the other one I said for Ajayi, who I think is going to have a great game. So, unless you have somebody else really good, you got to keep Hopkins in your lineup, but I'd be very nervous. He didn't practice the past 2 days. He doesn't need to practice. Stars don't need to practice. I'd pay attention tomorrow, Saturday, see what they say, but if 12:45, 12:15 rolls around and there's any reports of him not running or doing anything he should be doing, I mean, they're going to shoot up his toe with something, make him feel better, but it's the toughest matchup, in the league this year, and you're hurting, and you got a backup quarterback, which really doesn't matter, we just said, but it's just, I think Houston's game plan is going to be ball control.
Mm-hmm. Which I was actually going to bring up. Do you play Lamar Miller? I'm actually in a pinch right now. I'm not sure if I should be playing a Duke Johnson who's going up against Baltimore defense. I know you said it, or a Lamar Miller type player.
I like Duke.
Jacksonville.
I like Duke more for the simple reason I love Bortles this week because the Houston secondary is terrible, and if the defense for Jacksonville shows up and Bortles converts into some touchdowns, Houston's playing catch up. And you're going to see more Andre Ellington than Lamar Miller. And my favorite player on the Texans this week, I said his name before, Steven Anderson. Down week last week. With the quarterback switch, doesn't really matter. He's going to have a good week this week. I mean, if there's any spot on Jacksonville that's vulnerable, it's covering the tight end. And they're not even vulnerable, but that's where Yates is going to go. Especially if Hopkins is out or not running really well. But I love Bortles, love Westbrook, love Marquise Lee. Fournette probably not going to play, so good luck there. Should be Ivory.
They love Yeldon, man, all of a sudden. They hated Yeldon. They gave Burns to Chris Ivory when Fournette was out, and they're like, you know what, we're still going to give it to Yeldon.
Right.
Because I think he offers way more, though. He can rush the ball, and he gives you that passing ability,
and
too.
Here's the thing. Houston has a good rush defense.
Yeah,
They're top 5 in the league still. So it's hard to run on them. So this one's going to be, I don't know, this one might be super low, like 13-9.
Interesting.
And I think, unless one of the teams goes off, which probably would be Jacksonville, I think this one's going to be very slow-paced, control the ball, get the win. Jacksonville wins during the playoffs, I believe. So, they want this.
Yep.
They're not going to do anything stupid to mess it up. So, I said I like the Jacksonville wide receivers and I like Bortles, but if they don't score easily, this is going to be very slow-paced, low-scoring game. So you got a little bit of risk with Bortles, but I'd play him over Foles.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the 4 o'clock games, man. Los Angeles at Seattle. In my opinion, I think this is the game of the week. I think Seattle's pissed off that they lost to Jacksonville last week. I see Russell Wilson taking advantage of this Los Angeles team. I picked up Mike Davis. I told you last week, I don't know, that kid's pretty good, man.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's funny is that we play in Yahoo, and He is rated 5 stars this week and was still on the waiver wire in one of my leagues. And I'm like, how do I not pick him up?
Yeah.
I dropped AP. I was like, I don't know if AP is going to play again. So why not take a chance on this kid? I think I'm going to start him.
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy Graham put up donuts last week, but he's still a red zone target for these guys. I see these guys being in the red zone a lot this week. Los Angeles, the same thing, though. Woods is coming back. Who does he take away from? Does it take away from Watkins or does it take away from Kupp? Give me your thoughts.
Well, I'm in a tough spot. I have Davis, I have P. Ryan, I have Jamal Williams. As right now, I'm going with Jamal
Good
Williams as my second with Kareem Hunt. But yeah, the problem with Davis is a couple things. He looks amazing, but he's yet to finish a game. He gets hurt. The first time he played, and then he got hurt, and then he was out the next week, and then he came back and he played amazing, and then he got hurt. And he was questionable. Now he's off the injury report. Seattle also, when they are close and in the red zone, within the 10, Russell Wilson likes to do what he does. And he likes to run around and he likes to run or find his guys. So it's tough with Mike Davis. I like him this week. I'd play him if I didn't have better options. But like I said, between him, P. Ryan, Jamal Williams, like right now I'm leaning Jamal Williams. And if I had to split it, I'd go 40, 35, 25. You know, it's very close. And Jamal Williams is 40, and the other two flip-flop back and forth in my mind. P. Ryan, too, though. He's been getting hurt the last couple games as well. But anyways, I love Russell Wilson this week. You know, the Rams have the third worst rushing defense. That's why Davis is ranked so high with his 5 stars. And that's good for Wilson. That's good for Davis. I think Jimmy Graham bounced back this week. Got the goose egg last week. I think gets at least a touchdown, maybe like 80 yards.
Ooh, I think like big yardage day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like with Jimmy, it's always you get 4 receptions for 16 yards with 2 touchdowns.
Right.
So
yeah, I think he has a good week. Baldwin, you're going to play. You drafted him as your 1 or your 2.
I actually got a question for you. I am in a pinch right now. I think I have Jimmy Graham, but I'm also going to play Paul Richardson. He came and showed up last week. He didn't have anything through like the first 3 quarters, it seemed like, but ended up with a touchdown. He actually ended up having a pretty good game. I think he actually called his line. It was fairly close to what you had called. So
right. Well, that's what he does. He gets his one big, huge one, and he gets a good amount of yards, couple catches in between throughout the game, and this touchdown. And it's gonna be the same sort of thing. I think you're right. This game's going to be a great game. 2 great offenses, 2 pretty good defenses. Seattle's going to be pissed off. The shenanigans, which I loved at the end of the game last week, dude going into the stands and sodas and whatever being thrown, and that was friggin' nuts. With Woods coming back, who does it take away from him? I don't know. Coach came out and said, we got to use Gurley more. So I think you're going to see a bit more Gurley. But if they stop Gurley, they can't keep going to Gurley. I think Kupp's still a guy, man. Woods had his 3 or 4 awesome weeks. I won't take anything away from him. Then he got hurt. But even when that was happening, Kupp was still getting the most targets. Unfortunately, Kupp was dropping a lot of them, or they were bad throws, or he was getting hit and fumbling. I still think Kupp's the top target there. He's still Goff's boy. I'm playing Kupp as my wide receiver 3, and I feel very comfortable about it. I think that Seattle defense knows that, and I think they'll focus on him early. But Kupp's a great route runner, and as soon as they stay with him, the defense, Woods is going to get deep, Watkins is going to get deep, and they're going to get theirs. And then as the game goes on, things are going to open up for Kupp. So I think you're going to get the other 2 guys early, and you're going to get Kupp late. You'll get Gurley throughout. Do not sit any of them. Play Goff if he got you this far. And on the flip side, I'm playing all the guys too that I mentioned. Even Davis, if I have no better option. This game should be a high-scoring game.
Nice.
This is for the division as well. A lot of good games this week.
Yeah, I agree, man. You know what? I said this one was the game of the week. I'm actually going to the next one. This is probably going to be the game of the week. New England at Pittsburgh. I'm going to go with the way Pittsburgh played last week.
And the week
They're-
before.
And the week before. And actually the
And
week
the week
before.
before.
And the week before. They're very vulnerable. If Bell and Brown do not have good games, I don't think anything happens with them. I think New England blows them out.
They're gonna.
Schuster is back this week, though. Does that make a
He's
difference? But he's hurting. Okay. New England's pissed off.
Very.
Very pissed off. I can see everybody having a huge game this week. Even though it's in Pittsburgh, I think New England just goes off. What do you think?
Yeah, Hogan had a bad game. First game back. Amendola didn't do much of anything. Cooks, Gronk wasn't there.
Gronk's back.
Right. Play your Patriots. This is going to be a bloodbath. Listen, they hate Pittsburgh. As much as Pittsburgh and everybody else, probably you watching this, hates New England. New England hates Pittsburgh, and New England is coming off an embarrassing loss. I just think they lay the wood. Pittsburgh should have lost to Green Bay. They should have lost to Baltimore. The week before, I can't remember who they played, but they kicked the field goal and won it. Just the same. They are due for a loss.
Was it Green Bay?
No, Green Bay, and then last week was Baltimore, Cincinnati. Cincinnati should have beat them.
Yeah.
So it's 3 in a row, 3 field goals to end the game to win. It's just, I've been saying all along, I don't like Pittsburgh's defense. And I think New England exploits them. New England got outcoached last week. They're not going to get outcoached 2 weeks in a row. Even against a guy that's played against them at least half a dozen times, if not more. I'm playing all my Patriots and not being afraid to, James White included, Burkhead and
Really?
Lewis. Yeah, man, if you got a flex to put these guys in without a doubt, and if you don't have, like a guy I mentioned before, if you don't have a P. Ryan who you know is going to be 100% on the field, I would play James White.
Interesting. I think he's saying that because in the league that I'm playing with him, I have James White and I have a flex spot that's open right now. So is he trying to do the zigzag on me?
No, I think all the running backs and all the wide receivers get involved. I can see them easily putting up 40 plus.
Okay.
On Pittsburgh.
I mean, James White didn't have a bad game last week.
No.
I mean, he actually played
No,
pretty
all
well. And
three of them.
Yeah, I mean, everybody did. So
Well, that was their game plan. though.
correct. So.
Now you got Gronk back. It doesn't matter. And here's the thing. The Patriots are going to have to focus on, do we stop 84 or do we stop Le'Veon? And I feel like there's going to be a couple plays where Brown's going to get loose. There's going to be a couple plays where Le'Veon Bell gets loose. And I think they'll both have pretty decent games because they'll be playing from behind. So Big Ben's going to have to be chucking it. But I think this one is like 45 to 24. I really think New England just lays it down. They got embarrassed on national TV last week. Bill Belichick, the Sith, he is not happy about it. This is for the #1 seed, basically.
Yep.
I'm playing all my Patriots. I'm not sitting Brown or Bell. I think they'll do fine. I really liked Juju going into this week, but now he's banged up, and I'm not going to play him, and I would not play Bryant. You know who's actually probably a pretty good play? Jesse James, because Vance McDonald went down.
James had a touchdown last week, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Vance McDonald went down. He's probably a good sneaky tight end play.
Okay. Ooh, sneak of the week.
He is my sneak of the week.
All right, I'll take it. Next game. This one's going to be fairly quick. Tennessee at San Francisco. I lost Carson Wentz.
Well,
Oh, he's up. I lost Carson Wentz, so I'm playing Jimmy on this one. I figured it's my best matchup to go, especially going against a Tennessee defense that, like you said, all year has just been abysmal. But I'm nervous about starting Goodwin for some reason. I've been thinking about it all week. Goodwin had a good game last week. He had a good game the week before. You say about trends. 2 good weeks, disappears. 2 good weeks, disappears. Seems like this is going to be his disappearing week for me for some reason. But I got Jimmy in another league, so I'm really hoping that I'm wrong on this. And Tennessee, Mariota didn't have 4 touchdowns.
terrible. I tried. I said it all along, he's terrible, and then last week I said, you know what? maybe this will be the one where he breaks out. He's terrible. Do not play a single Titan. You want a defensive sneak of the week. I said it on the sites this week. San Francisco. If you play DFS, like they're like one of the bottom 5 cheapest, like maybe like 2,400. So cheap because they're so terrible. But I love San Francisco's defense in this game. I think San Francisco wins this game easily. This is Jimmy G's first start at home. They are going to be up for this game. Love Goodwin in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, I just have this feeling, man. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. The trend, he's been playing well. I'm not saying that he's not going to have points. He'll probably give me 10, 11 points. But I need a 20-point outing from him. I hope it would be a 20-point outing from him.
Jimmy G's 2-0
Mm-hmm.
as a Niner, but his stats are nothing.
Yeah.
Now he's at home. The fans are going to be there. They're going to be in support of their new franchise quarterback. The place is going to be rocking. He's going to be ready to go and show these fans this is what you got for the next 10 plus years. The defense is going to be amped up. Tennessee's terrible. Terrible. I say Jimmy G 280 and 3 total touchdowns. He might even rush for one of those.
He's a good mobile quarterback, man. He can move around the pocket really well.
Goodwin goes over 100 this week and gets a touchdown. You're going to be more than happy with him.
All right.
Are you playing me with him, you bastard? You son of a bitch.
All right, let's go on to the Sunday night game. Dallas at Oakland. Dallas has to win this game.
Yeah.
They have to win every game, obviously, to be able to have a chance. Dallas, like you said, it was a very close game against the Giants last week. Then they blew it out. Rod Smith had that really big touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns altogether. I'm nervous about playing Alfred Morris, to be honest with you. Do they give Rod Smith more burn?
No.
Alfred Morris didn't have a bad game, though. He was rushing pretty well. And what receiver am I going with here? Does Dirty Dez have a really good game? Oakland looked horrible against KC last week. I'm surprised they even got 15 points last week, to be honest with you.
Got him late.
Lynch had another touchdown, though. I think that's Lynch's, second in a row that he had touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Least, yeah.
Do I play Lynch if I'm this far ahead? If I'm in week 15 and I have to start a running back and Lynch is one of my choices, in my opinion, I'm going to go with him against the Dallas defense, even though Sean Lee showed up last week and he can stop him, but I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Lynch isn't a bad play this week just because I think Carr has a pretty good game. Cooper's probably not going to play. He might even have been ruled out tonight, but he's very close. Crabtree didn't show up. Cook didn't show up. I think Oakland wins this one.
Cooper is out.
I think Oakland wins this one. Yeah, Cooper's out. I think Crabtree shows up. Cook shows up. I think those ancillary weapons, Cordarrelle and those guys, do something. I think Oakland wins, and I think they do enough on defense to win the game. But I love Dez in this one.
Really?
I do love Dez. I don't like Rod Smith. Don't fall into it. Don't chase those points. You made it this far. You've got to have a better option. I'd play Alf over Rod Smith, without a doubt, because they don't need Rod Smith broke those 2 because their team was doing nothing all day. It's not going to be like that. I think Oakland wins this one 27, 23, 24, 20, somewhere around there. I like Dez. I like Dez a lot. I feel like Dez on a couple plays last week showed a little bit of his fire. A couple plays last week he was a little lackadaisical. I think you get the fiery side of him. I think that the fans in Oakland are going to bring that out of him because they're going to be yelling his name loud in his face. So I'm definitely playing Dez this week. I'm playing Dak this week. I'd be hesitant to play Elf. I'd play a couple of guys we talked about. I would actually probably play Mike Davis over Elf.
Okay.
But on Oakland, I think I wouldn't play them, but I just think that Carr has a good game. Crabtree and Cook have good games.
Okay.
Uh,
I mean, Cook's been actually okay, man. Cook's been getting a lot of that. From what I've seen, when Carr is in trouble, he looks for Cook. Yeah, it used to be he looks for Crabtree.
Right.
It seems like Cook has taken
Right.
over that role, and Cook's big enough where even if he has 3 guys around him, you throw it up there. He's a big body. He's gonna go for it, and seems like he comes down with it half the time, man.
To me, this is one of those games where Oakland's going to win it, and the people that are going to get the points are not people that you even have on your team.
Okay.
Like, it's Holton, right? That's his name. And, like, the ancillary guys. I feel like they're going to figure out how to get them involved because they kind of did at the end of the game last week. And I think now at home, big stage, do or die, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be those guys that are playing for a roster spot next year that are going to show up a little bit more. So maybe like a DeAndre Washington.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Maybe a Washington would be
Yeah.
could be out of the backfield.
Yeah.
All right. For everybody that's, obviously, if you make it to the next week, Zeke is back, man. I am praying I make it to the next week because that means that in that league I have Le'Veon and I have Zeke, and I'm pretty sure that wins me the championship, man. I just gotta make it past.
You gotta
I gotta make it past this week.
I tell you, it's gonna hinge for me on DeAndre, and if I play Ajayi over him, is that gonna be my downfall?
Interesting.
And tomorrow's games too. I like this because you're in the playoffs. You got yesterday's game. Chances are, unless you had Demarius or maybe CJ, like, you probably weren't playing anybody on those 2 teams yesterday anyways.
Yeah.
But at least tomorrow you've got the Chargers, right? You got
KC.
Detroit, you got KC. Maybe you have Jordan Howard
for
on Chicago.
yeah.
So you're going to
Cohen's
have...
been playing pretty well too, man. So that's another
Right.
sneaky one there.
So you're going to know, like, am I down by a ton? Do I need a Hail Mary? Or can I play it a little more safe if you got a couple of those guys and or your opponent does?
Hail Mary,
So,
please.
What I'm predicting for tomorrow, I say my key point, and I need this to happen, so it's a little bit in my heart, but it's also in my head. I think Rivers has a bad game.
Interesting. All right.
Get him out of your lineup. I played Jimmy Garoppolo over Philip Rivers this week.
Big call.
Check back next week, see if that stat holds up.
I agree, man. I might even write that one down
That's
so we
my
can take a
stat.
look. But you know what? Like I said, I picked up Jimmy, so I'm going to go with
So
it.
here we go. Brandon Sperling, Noah Perry, Scott Cantrell, 3 of my homies that are always checking out the page, always giving us questions. I love it. Keep it coming. You guys write it down. Jimmy Garoppolo has
Over
a better
Phillip
fantasy
Rivers.
day than Philip Rivers.
Wow, you heard
If
it
I'm
here first,
wrong,
guys.
I want you to yell at me.
Nothing too harsh, please.
And I hope you guys win this week because you guys have been our first trio of true fans, and we appreciate it. So spread the word. But like I told Noah the other day, spread the word, but don't tell too many people because then they have a leg up as well. All right, so good luck this week.
Whoa, we got one more game, bro.
I forgot. Atlanta.
Monday night
This one's easy.
division game.
This one's easy.
All right, go for it.
Get through this so quick. Start all of your Falcons. Matt Ryan's going to have a day. I really love Austin Hooper in this one as my tight end sneak of the week, part 2. Julio's going to be awesome. Sanu's going to be awesome. Devontae Freeman is going to be the number 1 running back this week, by far, especially with Coleman not in it. And then on the flip side, if Mike Evans shows up, if Jameis Winston shows up, they're going to be playing catch-up. So don't fall into the trap of people saying, drop Mike Evans, he's terrible. This is a week where he's going to go off. Monday night, not a lot. I mean, people know his name. Not a lot of people have seen him play. He hasn't played many Monday night games.
Big body,
right?
man.
If you didn't watch him in
He's a great
college,
receiver.
I remember watching him in college with Johnny Manziel and seeing, who's that guy? Evans. And I was like, I want him when he comes into fantasy the next year. It was like 3-4 years ago. And he's lived up to the hype. He's had a down year. You know, he had to play with Fitz for a while.
Yeah,
He
Winston's
had a
been
couple
hurt, yeah.
big games. Winston's back. They're going to be playing catch up. Mike Evans is going to have a heck of a game. He's going to. Mark it down. I'm not going to play Barber. I'm not going to play Martin. I'm not going to play Sims. I'm not going to play Howard because I'm not going to play Brait. And I'm not going to play Deshaun Jackson. I'm not going to play Godwin.
Godwin.
He's my boy.
You know what's funny, though, is that he actually led them in receiving last week.
I know he did. It's Evans for Tampa and everybody for Atlanta.
All right, guys, you already hear answers by guess. Anything else there, sir?
I got to go to bed.
Yeah, it's getting late, man. All right, guys, hit us up with the questions, all right? We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
See you guys.
Hit that like button.